If you're eating well, you're exercising, you're taking all your supplements, and you're still exhausted, still gaining weight, still not sleeping, I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to tell you is the reason why nothing has worked. And it's nothing to do with how hard you're trying. The problem isn't you at all. The problem is everything that you've been taught to do to reduce your menopause symptoms is actually incorrect. Give me 10 minutes and I'll show you exactly what I mean. My name is Laura Lambe. I'm a clinically trained menopause nutrition specialist and a member of the Menopause Society. And I work specifically with women who are going through menopause, just like yourself. Women who want to reduce their symptoms, feel like themselves again, without HRT and without another supplement that does absolutely nothing. We currently have over 60,000 women in our menopause lab community. And inside my private practice, I've worked with thousands of menopausal women. Women who come to us after years of trying everything. I am not going to sell you a magic fix because there is none. What I am going to tell you is there is a clear, logical reason why you're still stuck. And once you understand that, the path forward becomes very straightforward. So let me show you exactly that path. Firstly, how familiar does this sound? You wake up already exhausted. You haven't even started your day yet, and you're already feeling behind. You push through the morning, maybe with another coffee, maybe just forcing yourself to get going. And by mid-afternoon, you've hit a wall. Your energy drops, your focus goes, even small things start to feel much harder than they should. And it's not just physical, it starts to affect your mood, your patience, your ability to cope with things that normally wouldn't really have bothered you. Perhaps you're not sleeping properly. You're gaining weight, especially around your core, despite the fact that you haven't changed anything you eat. Your joints ache, your brain feels foggy, maybe you look in the mirror and you genuinely don't recognize yourself anymore. And the exhausting part, you're doing everything right. You've done the fasting, you've done keto, you've gone gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, you've bought the magnesium, the ashwagandha, the collagen, the black cohosh, you've watched the podcasts, read all the books, downloaded all the guides, and come away feeling more confused than what you even started. You've gone to your GP and they've told you it's just menopause, or offered you HRT with no guidance, or told you it's normal. And through all of this, you've kept thinking, am I doing something wrong? Is something seriously wrong with me? Or is this just what getting older feels like? It's none of those things. Here's what is actually happening. Every single thing you've tried so far, the supplements, the diets, the elimination protocols, they were all treating the symptom label, i.e. the sleep problem, the weight problem, the energy problem, as if they were 8 separate issues that need 8 separate solutions. But they're not separated, they're connected. They couldn't be more connected. And until you identify what's actually driving this long list of symptoms, i.e. the root cause underneath it all, you're going to remain stuck. Nothing is going to work. And that's not a failure of effort. That's what we call fragmented care. That's exactly why it doesn't work. That's exactly why you're still stuck. So, what actually does work? Over the years, from working with thousands of menopausal women, time and time again, we see the same thing. The women who get real lasting results, the ones who actually fix their sleep, the ones who actually lose the weight, the ones who actually get their energy back, they're not the ones who have found the right supplement or the right diet. They're the ones who have finally identified what is causing their long list of symptoms in the first place. Your symptoms aren't random. They're appearing in patterns. And those patterns point us to the root cause. It's usually 1 or 2 things that's driving it simultaneously. There is about 50 different menopausal symptoms that you can be experiencing. But actually, the most common drivers of these symptoms fall into just 5 different buckets. Typically, cortisol dysregulation, gut health dysfunction, blood sugar imbalances, inflammation, and sleep disturbances. Now let's take a very easy example, cortisol, because it's so commonly misunderstood. When you lose estrogen in menopause, your body naturally produces more cortisol to compensate. It helps us regulate blood sugar, blood pressure, inflammation, So cortisol is not the enemy. But when we already have a naturally higher level of cortisol now in menopause, and then when we add in what we call cortisol increasing activities in on top of that, so things like under eating protein, skipping meals, long fasting, over exercising, you end up tipping yourself into that commonly known phrase of fight or flight, or cortisol dysregulation. And this is what drives the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. wake-ups, the belly fat shift that comes out of nowhere, the anxiety, the afternoon crashes. And this is what takes us to the part that makes women feel like they're going mad, because they're doing everything that people tell them is healthy, i.e. the fasting, training multiple times a week, eating clean, cutting carbs, taking all these different supplements. But in reality, those things worked before menopause. Our body has changed, so our approach to looking after it must also change. And unfortunately, due to the huge lack of education when it comes to menopause, we treat menopause symptoms as if they are fragmented. Can't sleep, here's a sleep aid. Gaining weight, eat less, or try this diet. Low energy, here's another supplement. Proper healthcare is entirely the opposite. We are trained as menopause specialists to step back, to look at the full picture, to identify the full symptom pattern first, and put a protocol in place for the symptom pattern. Not the 10, 15, 20 different symptoms, but the 1 or 2 symptom patterns. We call it symptom mapping. And it works because we focus on the 1 or 2 things that are causing your long list of symptoms instead of treating these in isolation. So let me show you what this looks like in reality. Robin came to us unable to sleep. Not just broken sleep, but like 2 hours a night. She had been to her doctor repeatedly, and every single time they just increased her dose of sleep medication. By the time that she actually came to work with me, she was on the highest possible dosage and still only getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. She had tried multiple different sleep aids, nothing worked. Within 15 weeks, with no HRT and no supplements, Robin was sleeping 8 hours again, unbroken. That's not a miracle. We didn't do a magic secret fix. That's what happens when you stop treating the sleep problem in this case and actually start treating what was causing it. For Robin, when we did her symptom mapping, it was blood sugar dysregulation and actually skipping meals. She was fasting, barely eating enough fiber, training on very little food across the week, and her cortisol was completely out of whack. This showed up in her 1 a.m., 2 a.m. wake-ups. It also showed up in her weight around the core. It also showed up in the anxiety that she was feeling and the random bloating. So we fixed the underlying issue, not the 10 or 15 different symptoms Robin came to me with. Then there was Claire, who came to us with chronic gut issues. And again, she had spent thousands on specialists. She was taking so many supplements and every different probiotic that you could possibly think of. But she was still having chronic constipation, extreme brain fog, extreme fatigue, and weight that just kept going up and up. And like Robin, the first thing that we done was symptom mapping. We didn't give her another supplement. We didn't put her on another elimination diet. We didn't give her another gut hack protocol. We actually figured out what was causing her gut issues from that symptom mapping. Claire, like many women that come to me, was already eating very healthy, very clean. She was taking all the supplements. She was doing all the exercise. Her problem was not trying enough. Her problem was she was just doing the wrong things. For her, she was actually under eating. Yes, she was eating healthy, very healthy, but not enough of the right foods. And there's a very big difference between eating healthy and being properly nourished. 9 times out of 10, the women come to me are eating healthy, but they are under consuming enough of the healthy foods. So the very first thing that we did with Claire was actually get her to eat more. She's ended up actually eating twice as much that she was consuming before she started working with us. And the result? We actually fixed the underlying root issue, which in her case was inflammation, which was being caused by the severe amount of under-consuming food that she was doing on a regular basis. So we didn't need to fix her long list of symptoms. We needed to identify the main cause, which in her case was inflammation. And we needed to identify the main driver of the inflammation, which in her case was undereating. So when we got her to eat more, it fixed her inflammation. And within 10 weeks, she went from having chronic constipation to having a bowel movement on a daily basis. and the scales started coming down, her energy started going up, and that brain fog started to disappear. And these aren't unique cases. We see results like this time and time again, because when you focus on the right thing, the body actually responds. If you're feeling fed up, your first step is to take your long list of menopausal symptoms, symptom map them into 1 or 2 main drivers. Now, I'm going to give you something that actually does this for you, because unless you've become trained in menopause overnight, you're not going to know what I mean. In the description below, you'll be able to see the link where you can book a menopausal consultation. Now, it's free, but obviously they are limited. Before your consultation, we will take you through a full symptom screening where you will go through all of your symptoms, your full health history, and an entire overview. We call it a 360 review of your health so far. You'll then have a free 30-minute consultation with one of my trained menopause specialists who are also a member of the Menopause Society. And in this consultation, we will symptom map this for you. So through the 30 minutes, we will take your long list of symptoms. We'll go through the symptom mapping process and ensure you leave the call with your known driver and a protocol to reduce that driver. Because you don't need more information, you need clarity. And within this 30 minutes, you will gain more clarity than the hours you will spend down the Google rabbit hole. So what is the catch? And this is something I get asked all the time. If you don't know me, then you don't know that I have built a free menopause community with over 60,000 menopausal women in it so far. And the mission? To ensure that there is no paywalls behind women getting access to knowing what they actually need to look after their health. Because as women, we should all have free education to know what's going on in our own bodies. That's why we built the Menopausal Lab. And so alongside of that mission of making sure that you do not need to pay to know what's going on in your body, we offer limited free menopausal consultations. I am a firm believer that all women should have the right to know what is going on in their own body. And the first step to understand what's going on in your body is to speak to somebody who's trained in this. So use the link in the description below to book your free 30-minute consultation where we can take your long list of symptoms, map them into 1 or 2 drivers, and ensure you leave that call with a free protocol so that you can start seeing symptom reduction and feel more like yourself again.